What's going on, everybody? Dang, welcome to the creative mind, man. Wow. Happy Friday, GM to everybody. What a day. I'm super stoked for this one. Joyce, I know we haven't had like a one on one, but I am a super fan, so this one's extra special. But thank you guys for
Thank you so
tuning in.
much.
Yes, definitely. I'm very excited to just like get a deep dive into your mind, really. For those that aren't familiar with this space, this is basically like a one-on-one conversation between artist to artist or creative to creative. Very organic, really. There's no questions planned. Wherever the conversation goes, that's where it goes. I like to ask stuff about perspective, get a little bit of background, and overall, it's just really wherever it takes us. So it's like a one-on-one, open to the public, live in time. So that's the style that I like to do these spaces. I like to keep them very, very chill. You know what I mean? And they tend to go fast. So yeah, for those who are not familiar with who I am and One Dope Kids, I'll give you a nice quick little rundown. So my name is Andrew Lyko. I am the founder of One Dope Kids. I've been a full-time contemporary fine artist for around 3.5 years now. My background is in graffiti, and I studied business. And yeah, like I said, just around 3.5 years ago, I went full time as an artist, and I never looked back. Gone through so many different things throughout my journey, and things that I like to share with my community, with other creatives. Hopefully finding a way that I can help the other person, in their career. And with One Dope Kids, it's basically a movement. I wasn't always treated very great in this industry, in the fine art industry, and that's something that really touched me in the wrong way and inspired me to create One Dope Kids because I feel like there's better ways of doing things. Artists being managed, even getting spotlight, opportunities, all these things. I feel like creatives are hella undervalued, and so our mission is to really empower creatives of all kinds. This is artists, this is stylists, DJs, anything creative. That's what we're really aiming to fulfill with our movement. And so that's what Window Kids is about. And we've been around for a little over a year now, and it's been a crazy journey. We all know how crazy Web3 is, fast paced. And I am proud to say that we're doing everything that we said we were going to do and much more. So yeah, that's a nice little rundown about me, about our project, and the reason why we're here. So, Joyce, do you want to come up here, take the stage, and introduce yourself? Give your, talk about your background a little bit before we dive into it.
Hi, yeah, thank you. Sorry, disconnected, had to rejoin. Yeah, so my name is Joyce. Hi, everyone. And I see a couple familiar faces in here. Fibra, Agile, thanks for coming. Um, so a little bit of my background. I am a designer in motion graphics industry, and I've been working there for almost 5 years now. And but before that, I've always just loved to draw ever since I was a kid, and yeah, that's about it.
Love it. Straight to the point. um, so, how old are you, Joyce, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 29.
Oh, wow, you're young. Dang.
How old are you?
I'm 33, actually.
Oh, nice. That's not too old.
No, not too old. But still, you're just. I mean, your art is just insane. It looks like you definitely have years on your belt. Doing it. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's see. One of the first questions I always like to ask is like, do you remember the first time that you had like that itch to create something? It doesn't necessarily have to be art specific, but you know, a moment that you were like, "Yo, I kind of feel like I need to create something, you know?
Yeah, I think it's not just like one moment for me. It's ever since I could remember. There's just like an itch in me. Like I have to put something into the world, if that makes sense. So ever since I was a kid, probably before I knew how to like communicate with words really well, I've I just remember always just drawing, playing with clay or anything I could get my hands on basically, and just trying to like tell stories in my mind and making up characters and um, yeah. So I don't think there's any particular moment, and it's just something that's always been there for me.
Early on, you know, as a kid, you just had that need to create, and it kind of just came natural, and you just never stopped doing it? Or did you have any point in your life that you kind of took like a break from creating?
Um, there are times that um where I'm not actively creating, but I'm always just observing the world around me and gathering inspirations when I'm not. So I think yeah, when I'm not creating, I'm just like gathering the creative energy for when time is right and inspiration comes. Like all of the energy is there to create. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You're like recharging, rebooting up, so by the time you have your idea or that moment where you want to create again, it just all comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah, so it definitely shows that you challenge yourself, you know, when you create and you're pulling from a place that, you know, is it's real, it's authentic. So let's paint the picture for the audience, you know, for the people listening in that might not know you so well. What was like your environment like as a kid? You know, because we all know what we're influenced on early on has major effects, you know, both good and bad. So can you tell us about your environment as a child? Like, what did that look like to you?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up in Taiwan, and my family, they've always been extremely supportive of whatever I wanted to pursue ever since I was a kid, especially my mom. She's my freaking rock. And she would be the one that like encourages me and my brothers to kind of explore that creative outlet. So on the weekends, we will have crafting afternoons where we like gather just random things like a little milk carton or pine cones from the ground or like anything we could get our hands on basically and just draw faces on them, like play with pastel or crayon, just anything and make a mess and have fun. But at the same time, like I don't know what it is like now, but back in the days in back in Taiwan, like Asia in general, I feel like um, artistic endeavors for kids is just not very encouraged or taken very seriously by adults. And I remember growing up, I've always been told that by adults that like if you want to become an artist, you're gonna end up starving on the streets type thing. And but that kind of just light ignite like a flame in my brain, be like, you tell me I can do it, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Um, so yeah, yeah, and then later went to school for it, and um, yeah, I'm really loving what I do.
So throughout, you know, everything that you're going through, living in Taiwan, I mean, I think really globally, there's a lot of places where, you know, having an artistic job is just not ideal in the eyes of the family. So to have that type of support is kind of amazing because similar like you, I didn't really have like my parents teaching me about art so much, but they never gave me shit about the things that I wanted to do. And so like they gave me ultimate freedom to just be who I wanted to be. and that was always like this artistic, dancing, outgoing kid, and that was super important for me because it allowed me to really explore the world the way I wanted to, right, with my perspective. And so I think it's very important for artists to remember that and to keep that sacred. Just uh, no matter what happens, even if it's your own family, which a lot of the times it might be, you gotta just stick with what you want to do with your passion, no matter how hard it gets, because if you allow somebody to take that away from you, like, dude, it's just so sad. You start to just feel more empty inside. But that's really amazing that your mom, really encouraged it such early on. And so, do you have, you say about brother or sister?
I have two little brothers. I'm the oldest.
Ooh, what is that like? Because I'm the oldest as well,
You
out of
get
two.
to boss them around. It's great. I love being the oldest.
And what are their like personalities like? Are they also like, following the creative arts somehow?
Yeah, one of them actually. The middle brother is a graphic designer, and the youngest one is studying to be a pilot.
Oh, damn, that's fire. A pilot. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think he's
If you, if
definitely the smartest out of us three.
Damn, that's really cool actually. Um, I wonder what that's like to be a pilot. Damn, that's got to be kind of scary. Would you be a pilot? Would you do that?
uh, no. Like, I mean, maybe, maybe not. I think, okay, I don't personally love being in planes for prolonged periods of time. Like, I can't really sit still, like, have to move around. So, I don't think I would be a very good pilot, personally.
So I'll stick to the arts for sure, for sure. Um, let's see. All right, so we got Kid Joyce, super inspired to just create. Mom supportive, so she's just going out for it. Even though there's some people saying, "Hey, you're gonna starve if you're an artist," you're like, "Okay, that just motivated me even more." So, F it, I'm really going for it now. Um, what were your teenage years like? Did you go to high school like uh, right around like high school, college, like right around that age? What was it like at that time? Like, how were you feeling? What were you into?
Yeah, okay, back up. So I was born in Taiwan. I mean, I was born in the States and I grew up in Taiwan, but then my family moved to Mexico for like a year and a half, 2 years ish when I was 15 and a half. And I think that was like the end of middle school or beginning of high school. I can't remember now. And I didn't really speak Spanish or English at all very much at the time. And so it was like a chaotic period of time where we're moving into a unfamiliar environment with people speaking different languages and different cultures and just like um so I kind of became just an inward quiet kind of observer type person and just always watching what other people are doing and yeah, but my my schoolwork academic things just went to shit because I didn't really speak the languages right. So I got like straight F's from all of the classes except for what's it, PE, physical education. um,
F for
yeah. So and yeah, but like for the most part, like the teachers and my classmates kind of knew and just left me alone to do whatever it is that I do. And I usually just noodle or doodle a lot in my sketchbook or draw on the textbook if, the textbook people, historic figures, mustaches, or give them funny faces. And I just kind of draw, and that became my escape. to the outside chaotic world. And I think the teachers also took pity on me because they started giving me these like art uh, like assignments that'll give me extra credit so I don't completely flunk school. Yeah, so that was Mexico in like the beginning of the US. And it was like late high schoolish that I ran into a couple really supportive teachers, and they they gave me like $20 to do a drawing for them. I'm like, what? I never knew art can actually like wow bring some money, and that was like really incredible. And they encouraged me to uh, apply to art schools because at the time, hearing all the scary stories about not being able to find a job as an artist, it did kind of give a lot of doubt in my head. So when all of the peers are like applying to colleges, I felt like I also had to, um, just to kind of like fit in, or I don't know. But yeah, so I applied to a bunch of normal colleges, and of course, because like my GPA was shit, academically was really bad, I was like rejected everywhere. And the teachers just really encouraged me to apply to art schools. And my mom as well, she's like, hey, I know this is like what you really love, and just like don't just ignore what other people are doing and go for what you want. So I'm like, okay. And just started putting a portfolio together, and eventually applied and got accepted into Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California. And yeah,
Yeah, shout out to your mom for being your rock, because that's absolutely amazing. Um, Yeah, because I mean, when you think about it, you're kind of getting pulled back and forth, right? You were creating your world, you found your peace, and then you realize you can make money out of it. But then again, you have like the outside voices is saying, maybe not, that's not practical, blah, blah, blah. So that's a huge battle, you know what I mean, for a lot of people who feel like they can't fully go one way or the other because it's just scary. It's scary to take that leap and really just have faith in yourself that that's what you want to do, even though all the odds are against you, you know? So shout out to you as well for, going through that and following through and just making it happen because look at you now, you know what I mean? It's amazing.
thank you.
Um,
And to be fair, like I feel like a lot of times when we're younger, it's really hard to make those decisions that is really true to ourselves because we didn't know any better, and a lot of times we're trying to look up to the older people that seem to have their all of their lives together to tell us what to do and give directions, right? So, um, yeah.
I agree. The funniest thing is like once you hit a certain age of adulthood, then you realize like, bro, nobody has it figured it out. Like, what the heck? Might as well, I should have been doing what I wanted to because literally nobody has it figured out. I don't care who you send my way. Like, no, sorry. Being an adult is like, it's a fugazi. It doesn't exist. We're all kids in this world.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I'm still trying to figure out myself even now. So I think it's a whole journey.
Definitely. And staring this to the art now, I got like I painted a nice little picture of Joyce, which is like you sound like you have a very calm and soothing personality, like very patient. Um, is that true?
No, I don't know why. Like I've gotten this multiple times on Spaces, but I don't have patience. I'm not a patient person.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So how did all right? So you found out that you can make money with your art. Went to art school for design. How many years did you do that?
Ooh. Uh, I have very bad memory, so I'm gonna say probably around 4.5 years. People usually go through it faster, but I took a lot of time off and just like try to really absorb the information and take my time. And again, shout out to my family for allowing me to do that. So, yep, about 4.5 years ish.
And out of your time there, if you can think of one thing that really impacted you, or something that you learned from that school that you kind of took with you up until now, what would that be?
Man, that's a really hard question because the school kind of taught me almost everything that I know. Um, Maybe the idea of learn how to learn. Um, so in
Ooh,
school,
love that.
yeah, so in school we were taught a lot of techniques and we had to do a lot of exercises um, to kind of hone our skills. But I think when it really comes down to it, they were kind of teaching us how to, I don't know how to put it into words, but like train our eyeballs almost, and to recognize what is good and what is bad, and try to um, analyze what makes it good and what makes something not good. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay. They, they, they taught you how to see in a certain way
Yeah,
that can allow you to take those inputs and apply it to your work in some way, somehow, right?
yep. And I think also creating a structure for when you are learning and practicing, um, you're like maximizing the time you're putting into it. And so, for example, there are just like a billion things we want to do in a day, and like even more things we want to learn. And it gets really overwhelming thinking, okay, I need to learn how to draw, I need to learn how to paint, I need to learn perspective and composition and color and blah, blah, blah. Just a gigantic list of things. And if you try and do all of those things at the same time, you kind of don't have focus. So instead, it's like setting short term goals and uh, I don't know, like finding uh, what it is that will, how to say, just like one step at a time kind of vibe instead of doing everything all at once.
You see, I knew it. You said you're not patient, but that takes patience to do because an impatient person will want to do all of them at the same time. You disciplined yourself to take it one thing at a time: composition, design, perspective. Like, and you obviously killed it. So you are patient to some extent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let me give a little. Where's the soundboard at? Let me. Okay. All right. Now let's go into the art. Right. Really go into the art. I myself am very curious about, let's say, a creative session for you right now. What does that look like? Do you have some type of routine, a setup? Like, how do you get in the zone?
Um, so now I work a full time job, and so right now it's technically my lunch break, but my routine, I will wake up, I go to work, um, and then after work, I do my own things. But in between, I kind of like to separate work from my own personal things so it doesn't feel like work. So I will, exercise, play with my cats, eat, and make sure all of the physical needs are out of the way. And I'll sit down and put on like a TV show, audiobook, or something. Because I feel like for some reason, a lot of times when we're drawing or doing art, it's working a different part of the brain than like the language part of the brain. So um, I really like to listen to something, um, whatever that is, and kind of it helps put me in the zone and quiet down the mind and focus on one thing. Even though it's not one thing, it's like technically two things. But I think that personally really helps me.
Yeah, no, I definitely get where you're coming from because it's weird. It's like one of the things that I feel like us artists really understand is just being able to be focused on our thing that we're creating, whether it be a painting or a drawing. But like you said, our hearing is like another source of just getting information. So even vision, to be honest, like I studied Jean Michel quite a bit a while back, and you know, his process of creating was literally having like the TV on, music, people over, like just talking. And the way he created was just pulling inputs from all these different things and applying on the canvas in real time and creating like some type of visual dialect, right? That sometimes would make sense and sometimes it wouldn't, but you know, parts of it was profound. And so having the ability to do that is like, as odd as it sounds, it really settles the mind because we're just in the zone, you know what I mean? Like just focus on, you know, the output of our expression, what we're creating. So that's been interesting. Um, so you right now you work a daily job like Monday through Friday, or what does that look like? Like how much time do you actually have for yourself to create your works, like your art?
Yeah, so I work a 9 to 5. No, I work a 10 to 6. um, and Monday to Friday is a regular day job, and I'm a senior designer at a motion studio called Oddfellows. And my day job is also art, so it's like not too different from like what I do personally, but I think the main difference is that um when we do things at work, it's we're kind of solving problems for our clients, and we're just always thinking about what other people need and what is the ask, and adapting like a solution for those asks. So when it really comes to personal things, it's so liberating because I can do whatever I want. But to answer your question, I try to work on my own things probably 3 to 4 ish hours a day after work, and sometimes more on the weekends. But yeah, so my entire existence is just sitting at a computer and noodling, basically.
Damn, that takes so much dedication because it just sounds to me like you're just always on when it comes to art, and that's not easy. How do you avoid burnout, or have you burned out in the past?
That's a really funny question because I actually just uh just kind of recovered from a pretty big burnout. So when I joined the space last year, I think I just took on way too many things at once, and because everything was like so exciting, you're getting so many requests, and I had a hard time saying no to things, so things just like very quickly piled up, and I was like working through all of it, and it was funny because like in the middle of it, I was starting to feel tired, but still riding on the momentum, so just keep pushing and pushing and pushing work out, but I had a little delayed burnout this year, so for the past like 2 3 months, I actually haven't been able to create anything personal at all. And it wasn't until like this past week or two that things are starting to feel better and like starting to come back. Um, so I definitely learned my lesson. Um, just like taking on too many things and not saying no. So now I've learned to really focus on what I want to do and what will make me feel like fulfilled, and just go for those and block out everything else. I mean, I still have a hard time saying no to things, but I think I'm getting better. But yeah.
Yeah, that's important because it's like you said, it's very exciting being in Web3 in this space. Like, the fast pace of it is just absolutely insane. I always say like 1 year in Web3 is like 3 years in real life. And so we're trying to catch that momentum and to just literally just keep people happy, and the people that really appreciate the work. And so it's a hard thing to do, right? To be a creator, and not only that, but like you have an actual 9 or 10 to 6 from Monday through Friday. So I can't imagine, the how draining that was for you to kind of just push on and continue to create, and saying yes to collabs and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad that you now found your balance, because it would be a shame to like not have Joyce within our world. You know what I mean? Creating. So
Yeah, I
definitely.
definitely learned that it's like a marathon instead of a sprint. And when I told my collectors, like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, take it slow for a couple weeks and not release any new work, and really thankful that everyone was so supportive, and yeah, just super thankful to have like all of the people showing so much love.
No, 100%. And at the end of the day, it's just about communication, right? Just being honest about your current situation, what that looks like, what you're going through. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans, and so we all have our life, different variables that are unexpected sometimes, but we all try to do our best. And as artists, like I feel like we're very emotional. Obviously we're creating out of emotion things that we're feeling or experiencing, and so sometimes things can get even that much more hectic and heavy. But I'm glad that everything's good now. Speaking about everything now, I just saw that you just dropped like these sticker packs. Let's talk about that a little bit, because that's very interesting. Because with Wonder Kids, we're actually, talking about doing something like that with sticker packs. And so, can you take us through that real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So Dialect is a like Web3 native messaging app. So you can like send people crypto, and you have like a built-in wallet in the app. And I think they launched sometimes November, December-ish last year. And I was part of I was approached by them to create some stickers um, to like be used on the app. So I was part of the like one of the first artists to release a sticker pack last year. And so when they came back earlier this year for a round two, to like showcase their paid mint feature, I was like, sure, because they were so fun to work with, and it was really like exciting, and I just really love seeing like all the people using the critter stickers to kind of represent their emotions, and I thought that was really fun. I had a lot of fun. Um, so yeah, so it minted yesterday, and the pack was available for opening today, and I think everything went really smooth. So big shout out to the Dialect team. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. Damn. So did we miss it? Is it closed now, or is it still open to mint?
It is closed now, but I can send you a pack.
Wow, that'd be freaking amazing. Yay. That's awesome. Yeah, because I literally just saw it today as I was like going through art to put on the Jumbotron. I was like, wait, what? Sticker packs? That sounds dope. But yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So let's talk about your style, because you have the critters, which I absolutely love. very playful, but sometimes they're not. It's like a very wide range of just fun and emotion. But let's talk about like your more complex style. I know it's very hard to, really describe anybody's work, but if you had to kind of like, I guess, describe it in some way, somehow, how would you describe it? Like your style, the complex one.
Hmm. I've never had anyone ask me that before. Let me think. How would I describe it? I think it's an exploration of color and light and how how oh my god, I don't know. I can't use words, but
Time,
um
this is like whoa. So that's why I said it's a hard one. I know.
yeah, I don't have a word for it. But that style came from uh the intention of like exploring a mix of 2D and 3D mediums, and how just the movement of light plus um, like secondary 2D animations could all be stitched together. I know that's not a very concise description of the style, but that's pretty much what it is.
That's really interesting. So you play a lot with light and color, um, with when it comes to like your 2D animations. Like, so if you're creating a piece, right? What inspires a piece? Is it like a kind of like a story, or is it more so just you apply something on first, and then you take a step back, and you're like, okay, well, maybe I can add something here. Like, what is that decision process?
Um, yeah, so this kindling series, the more complex looking pieces that you're talking about, they're they're all started with like some sort of idea that's been swirling around in my head for a little bit, and in the quiet moments I'm kind of like contemplating on them. um, so for example, one of the pieces called Waves, uh, that one was me kind of like um, sorting out the idea of we're all here just very temporarily, and everything and everybody we meet is like so like chance, based on chance, like, and our time with everybody is precious. And that piece took a long time to kind of internalize and materialize. So yeah, every piece started with that. But um this style actually started with me trying to learn 3D. And so at my day job and before Web3, all of my work is static because at work, designers, we don't really animate anything. And anything that I do, like the style frames, after they're done, they're passed on to the animators, which brings them to life. So um, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, and but if you could like look at my Instagram or something, or my portfolio, you can kind of see that I go through a really wide range of styles because I often get bored and I just want to learn new things, and I see something amazing. I'm like, oh my god, that is so cool. I want to figure it out. How do they do it? So um, a lot of the personal like work I've been doing before this space is like explorations on styles. But after like through doing those explorations, I found that the constant between all of them was color and light. And so when I was learning 3D, that was the favorite part of it. I'll like sculpt something and I'll like, add a light bulb over here. I'm like, holy shit, now it's casting a light. And if I move it, it's casting another way. And it just looks so cool when it's in motion. And I was like super, super excited about it. And so um, I'm like having another brain fart, but basically,
I got,
just
I
like,
Um, yeah, so I have a question
uh-huh.
based on what you said, because I too like I love exploring different styles, but it's also especially when I was working with like a art dealer, he was always pushing to like create a character, like something that is very memorable, and like people look at it like, oh, that's a Lyco or that's a Joyce, but to me, it's like, yes, I can do that, and I probably will do that. But at the same time, I love creating like series and exploring different things. And so, my question from artist to artist is, how did you solve the problem? Not the problem, I guess, but like, how did you solve a way to be able to bounce from style to style while still keeping some sort of like, something that people can look at it and be like, oh, that's definitely a Joyce piece, or like, is that a Joyce piece? Like, it kind of has her style, but like it doesn't. So, or is that even something that you were conscious about, or it just kind of came naturally? I don't know. Do you have an
Uh,
answer for
that's something honestly I've always been struggling with. Because like going through school and work, I really admire the like peers who just have one style. They really know who they are and just stick to it. But me, on the other hand, I never really had that, and so I was just exploring and exploring, trying to find my voice. And I think the Web3 space actually helped me hone that a little. I don't think I've completely found what is my voice yet. Like, I think the moment we stop exploring is when we stop improving. I don't know how true that is, but personally, that's just how I feel about my own work. Um, so yeah, I
it?
don't have like a definitive answer for it.
Yeah, I know it's very difficult, and it's something that I've been thinking about for quite some time. And then the only way that I can answer it, I'm just like, bro, well, if I'm creating it, that's the style. Like, fuck it, it's coming out of Andrew Lyko. That's the style, I guess. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like if it comes from you, it's you.
yeah, so that's like the only way I can like contextualize it and just be like, okay, well, that's my style. I'm good. Now on to create something that I've never created before.
Yeah,
But
but I think it's important though. Like it has to really comes from you. So if you're trying to imitate somebody else's things completely, then even though you drew it, it's not really you. If that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, there's like a fine line of appropriation, which for the audience, if you're not familiar, it's like taking something as reference, but completely making something your own from it. So you might take like 10% out of something that you see, and it like filters through your mind, and then you recreate something new based on that inspo.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for a lot of artists, when we're first starting, we want to create something completely original. But personally, I think originality is pretty overrated because all of the ideas were like bouncing off of each other, and we all belong in this world, so we're all absorbed in like similar similar ideas because we live on the same planet. And uh, reference is such an important tool. Like the first thing we were taught in school is like, do not draw or do anything without reference, because how are you gonna draw, say, a chair if you've never like draw one before? Are you just gonna make it up in your brain? Then it's not gonna be like correct per se. So I think we have to really just learn how to observe first from the references to kind of build the fundamentals and get better. And then later using like references as inspiration to help find our own visions.
Woo! Drop the mic, Joyce. Drop the mic. Damn, just spitting out fire. I love it. And we're almost at the 1 hour mark, sadly. We're like 10 minutes before we close it out. And so at this time, if there's anybody in the audience that wants to come up, has a question, a statement, this is the time. Um, but meanwhile, we'll just keep things going until I see a hand raised or something like that. But man, this is yeah, I really wanted to learn a lot about you, so I'm really thankful that you came onto the space. You sound super, super chill. I would definitely kick with you. Your laugh is very contagious, by the way. Um, I laughed much more in this space than others. And yeah, so what are you currently, working on? Can you give us like a little alpha, a little some, ODK exclusive?
Huh? Yeah, for sure. And thanks for the kind words. I laugh when I'm nervous, so you can tell I'm extremely nervous. And what I'm working on so many things. There's like 10 things I'm working on at the same time. But uh, yeah, I have an ongoing collection called The Critters. And I have one last piece for the Kindling collection. And um, though I feel like I'm kind of in a like idea accumulation um, period of time. So instead of like putting out a lot of work and releasing them, putting them for sale, I kind of just want to go into my shell for a little bit and
You want to
just
cook.
just draw. Yeah, I just want to
Mm.
cook for a bit
That's good.
and kind of
Let
let it accumulate. Oh, and what was that?
I don't know. I thought it was like Thunderbolt things, but it wasn't. Completely killed the vibe. My bad. Keep it going.
No worries. But I was gonna say like earlier, it kind of goes back to your earlier question about like workflow. So I really like to marinate my work. So even after, say, I complete a piece, I don't like to put it out into the world right away. I like to just sit with it and not look at it for like a couple of weeks or a month or two, and then come back and look at it to see if it still feels right. Because um, I think a lot of times when we're working on something, you're just staring at it for so many hours and you're really in your head about the piece, and it it can kind of sometimes uh, get too close to it. So letting the pieces marinate, um, I think, is one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, I'm just gonna accumulate and draw and cook for a while, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't that crazy how like you spend so much time doing something and then you literally leave for a certain amount of time, come back, and you're just like, wait, what? This clearly need this change here, or like a little add-on here. Like, how did I not see that before? This is it's crazy. We do have YC who came up to the stage. So YC, bro, come on up. Oh wait, did he go back down? I think he had a question. Um, Let me see. I think, oh, he might have been rugging. But yeah, it's like a really trippy thing, and leaving your work, coming back to it, and like Joyce said, letting it marinate, it really does wonders because sometimes you're just way too deep into it that you need a little refresher, right? Like fresh eyes and a fresh mind. Um, but yeah, that's so you're working on critters. Well, actually, you're working on like 10 things at once, and you're about to cook and just spark up new things, which is very exciting. Please, keep us posted. Us here at One Dope Kids, we love your work, super fan, and we would like to, like, maybe make something happen in the future somehow. When you have like an opening or something, definitely keep us in mind. We would love to, just work on something together. I think it'll be very, very awesome and, really cool for the space. because we're not going anywhere, you know. So we're here to stay, vibe out with artists, collab, and just have fun overall.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds like a really fun time.
So we'll just stay in touch, and I'll fill it out, kind of like your workflow, what you have going on, and then we'll just figure it out, make something happen.
Sounds like a plan. Oh, and thank you so much for asking all of these like super interesting questions that I've never been asked before. Really had to like think about it. So that was really refreshing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's what I'm saying. Like this is all freestyle, by the way. Like I said, none of it. I literally have no paper in front of me. I had a snack, I had coffee, and like I had my Mimikyu on my desk. That's all I had.
Snacks are
And
essential.
yes, yes, snacks are essential. But Joyce, absolute pleasure. I know you're on your lunch break, so I don't want to take it over an hour, and so I just want to say thank you so much to just joining us, vibing out. I know you said you were nervous, but FYI, I was too, and so same boat. And yeah, it's just nothing but vibes. And I really hope that we can, continue this ongoing relationship. And everybody in the audience, thank you so much for tuning in. It's Friday. It's Friday, so going into the weekend. I hope everyone has a great fucking weekend. Stay safe, stay dope, and yeah, much love to everybody. I'm gonna close it out with a little bit of music. But Joyce, if you have, oh, actually, I have one last question before we close out that I like to ask, and that is, if you can go back in time and have like 10 minutes with young Joyce, what would you tell her?
Ooh. Uh, man.
I know, I know.
Plot twist. The hardest question yet. Um,
Take your
damn.
time.
Okay, this is really hard.
I know, I know,
What would
I
I
know.
tell myself if I have 10 minutes? Okay, I think I would tell her to have patience and like trust the process and follow your heart.
Yes, yes. Love it. Oh, actually, YC came up. Yeah, bro. If you have a question, we have like 3 minutes before we have to close it out. Joyce, I love that answer. I think super important to just, you know, be able to trust yourself even at such a young age. Like, just follow your heart, like you said.
Yo, thanks for having me up, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Much
Yeah,
love, bro.
so yeah, it wasn't so much of a question as it was um some fanboy, like the artwork that Joyce is putting out. I've never seen anything like it. It's so good. Really mad style and so eclectic as well. So yeah, that was a big up for that. And then also like this space is a vibe, man. Like you two are vibing up here. It's flowed so well, and it's been amazing to hear those journey points that Joyce has been through and how you relate to them, man. So really awesome work.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It was a vibe. Like I said, I was geeking about this one. It was just, I'm a fanboy too. Absolutely love Joyce's work, and the personality fits the work, in my opinion, which is a vibe too. So, like I said, we got definitely have to kick it sometime. We have to make it happen with Pedro, with Verified, with Jason, Febra, Ayagil, Fubi, Pug. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And YC, bro, again, thank you for coming up and just vibing. Um, So yeah, I have to close it out, guys. Like I said, have a great rest of your weekend, Joyce. A pleasure, and we'll stay in touch.